the sacrifice you have to give to be able to survive in the ring. I train 6 days a week, average of 10 hours. It's a lot of building your stamina, your cardio, your technique. The coach is being really hard. He said, you're gonna hate me when the fight comes, but you're gonna appreciate it once the fight is done.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm really happy to do this interview with you. From the first time we met, I wanted to do this. So,
Really?
so
Okay.
everybody, I have a special guest with us today. She is, oh, I'm going to let her introduce herself, but for those who know, I'm a real crime, investigator. That's what I love watching. So when we met, I was like, oh man, I got all these questions for her to figure out. Everybody, this is Dr. Liza Boucher. She is in the building, and we're going to have a little discussion on her life, what she's doing now. She's also a client of mine, so we're going to talk a little bit about money and finance. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so Dr. Liza, tell us what you do for a living.
Well, thanks for having me, first and foremost. So yes, I am a forensic pathologist, and more specifically, one of the two deputy chief forensic pathologists here in Ontario. What do we do? Why is Ty so interested in my job?
Because you're CSI. That's why. So anybody who knows, who's ever watched CSI and all that stuff like that, NCIS, knows there's always the people that do the autopsies and all that
Yes.
stuff like that. So tell us what you do.
So we're the ones that are usually in the basement.
Wow.
Well, in most buildings,
Yes.
anyways, not
Yes.
ours. So the main role of a forensic pathologist is to do autopsies. So we
Cool.
want to find answers for the family, for the
Mm.
legal system, depending on their circumstances in which a person dies. So we're going to do autopsies to try to answer those questions. That's the main role that we do. In some cases, we go to court. So, in all those court cases that go, we're that person. We go and tell
Wow.
them what we find
Wow.
and try to help the legal system process through cases.
Yes.
But we also do a lot of different things. One of the things I like is teaching. We
Mm.
teach medical students, we teach residents, we teach, sometimes we have EMS and police officers that come in and learn from us. So it's a big part of our work. And
Mm.
I always like to give back. And I always say, we one way of changing the world is teaching people things about the world. And so
Wow.
that's an important part of my job. And then being the deputy chief, I'm also have a lot of administrative tasks, but mainly I oversee the service delivery in the north and the east part of Ontario.
So I gotta ask, okay, because again, we know TV in real life. So tell me kind of what's the difference between what we would see on like CSI or any of those shows and what you actually do. Like, what are some total myths that you're like, that's a lie? Watching it, that's not true.
I would say there's a lot of truth to it, but you have to remember that TV wants to like sensationalize everything. So
Mm.
they exaggerate
Mm.
things to keep the audience like hooked on those TV shows.
Yes.
And sometimes they exaggerate the science. I remember seeing one where the person died and they went and did the retina scan to see the last image. Like, that's not true.
Okay.
That's pushing science a little too far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there's it's based on science, but you have to remember they want to keep you hooked on their
Yes.
show, so they're
Yes.
gonna amplify,
Yes.
exaggerate things.
Yes.
But
Interesting.
like, I know some of my former colleagues that are consultants for some of these TV shows, and they try to keep it as real as possible, but
Oh.
they want to sell.
Uh,
So
Okay, so let's talk a little bit of how you got into this because obviously you're a doctor
yes,
and you have to kind of go to school for all of that, I'm guessing and assuming. But you're a doctor dealing with dead bodies. so
yes.
so how did you go in that path? How did that come about?
Well, life brings you where you're supposed to be. You and I
Mm.
had that conversation the day we
Hmm.
met. I wanted to go in med school to be a neurosurgeon. That's what I wanted
Wow.
to do when I
Wow.
started. But then I did a rotation in it. It's not too much for me. I wanted to do reconstruction plastic surgery for people that had cancer or like diabetes complication, but I learned that too late.
Mm,
Ended up going in general surgery.
mm,
I liked it, but it was like high pace, no life. And then like a personal event made me take a sabbatical, and I'm like, okay, do I want this pace for the rest of my life or
mm,
not?
mm.
And that's where like I say, life brings you where you're supposed to.
So true.
And so I reassessed, and then I went into pathology, and we have like a mandatory rotation in forensic pathology. And when I did it, I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I just knew. And then all the stars aligned after that. I needed to find a fellowship. I learned that Toronto had a new one. They still had a spot open in my year,
Mm.
whereas every year it's usually full
Yeah.
years in advance.
Yes.
So like all those the stars align, and I don't regret. I'm doing what I'm meant to do.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing. I do concur with that. I actually believe that, behind the scenes, depending on what you believe, but I believe that God has his hand on your situations, right? Even how I got into finance is like totally weird. I didn't go to school for it. But initially, I was a social worker working with youth. And when I saw some of my kids who were getting in trouble with the law, when I spoke to them, their issues were money,
Yes.
economics. And I realized I put kind of two and two together, and I thought, here I am teaching behavioral modifications. I probably should be teaching financial literacy. I didn't know anything about money. So I went to go searching, found an office that could start teaching me. And then I ended up helping my mom get back some benefits. And that was it. Like I fell in love with it. And that was the path that I take. So I believe everything you said about that you are where you're supposed to be, and if you're listening and paying attention, you'll find your pathway.
Yes.
And I think that there's a lot of people probably watching in that may be, trying to find their path and struggling, and I hope just listening to your story they'll realize that their path will be revealed if they are listening, if
Yes,
they're listening.
but sometimes I think those detours have a purpose.
100%.
Like you might not see it when it's happening
Yes.
because it overwhelms you and stuff,
Yes,
but there's a purpose.
I agree. Crisis develops character.
Yes, I agree on that.
You got a postcard about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Crisis reveals character, but it also helps us develop, right? As
Yeah.
as human becomings, as I like to say, right? We're not human beings; we're human becomings, and that crisis is probably the best place to help you because you talked about it. It was a life event that made you kind of reevaluate certain things in your
Yes.
life to say that. So I concur wholeheartedly. Okay, so let me ask you, what's the hardest part of your job?
Oh, my
Because
job.
to me, it'd be like dealing with dead bodies. I'm like, yo, it's crazy. But
I think it's the fact that we see the worst of society.
mm,
Um, like yes, we see death, but death is part of life.
yes,
But often the circumstances in which we see death is because of like the worst part of
yeah,
society.
yeah,
Um, we'll come to it later, probably when we talk about future subjects. But
yes.
like, I see when you make bad life choices where it can lead. Like
Mm.
the worst
You see
possible
it.
outcome
Yeah.
is death. So there's a lot of like drug overdoses, street violence, domestic violence, and that's the hard part about my work is
Yeah.
seeing all this negative.
Yeah.
The day you and I met, one of the students that we met was like, "How do you do
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see so much negative
Mm-hmm.
and still stay positive?"
Yeah.
And like I said, it's balancing it with positive in your life. Either like meeting these students where you see the opposite, where you have students that are given the chance to change their trajectory with people helping them and seeing all the good that comes from that in comparison to people that fall into easy money, like you
Mm.
said, or
Mm-hmm.
drugs, or violence. It's really that's the worst part. Like the
Yeah.
worst part is, of course, is always going to be violence on kids. That's the really the extreme in our work, but seeing the negative, the really negative side of society.
Yeah. And I would have to probably guess that you have to yourself deal with that emotionally.
Yes.
And what are some of the strategies that you use to get through
So it's first and foremost, be aware. Don't like suppress it.
that?
If there's a hard case or something that resonates more with yourself, is to be aware of it and like digest and process your feelings, but also have people around you where you can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently, I had a case where I had to testify and it was hard. It's like the hardest case I've done in my career so far. And just the process of prepping to go to court to testify for that case, you sort of go through these emotions, but having a colleague that's there, no, you're good. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always why you're doing
Mm-hmm.
something. And then you go through it. But it's not like if you decide to just be like separate yourself from work, at some point it catches up with you.
Yeah.
You have to go through the
Yeah.
process and think about and talk about it.
I think it's so true. What you just said, you have to go through it.
Yes.
You can't skip grades, can't go around it. But if you're going through something, I don't know who's going to be listening to this. If they're going through something, hear those words. You got to go through it, deal with it, and feel it. Be present in those moments. I think that those are what helps you get through it. Okay, let's change direction a little bit. And I want to talk a little bit because recently we were able to do a financial needs analysis on you,
Yes.
Dr. Liza, right? So, which was good. What did you learn about that process? Doing a financial needs analysis on yourself. What did you learn?
So it's not the first time I've done it,
Mm-hmm.
but I do see that in different stages of your life, it's good to do it again, to
Mm.
reassess your needs
Yes.
and where you're at, and new strategies to respond to those needs and your wants too. Like
Yes.
life is not all about needs; it's also
100%.
about wants.
Yes.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be
It
fun.
wouldn't be fun.
So it's just reassessing. Like I've been through a big change in the past few years, and it was good to sit down, reassess the current situation with
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and revisit. Like it's stuff that I knew, but
Yeah.
we know doctors are not good with money. We forget things.
Yes.
And so I just reviewing all of those concepts and having it fresher in your mind. And also, like, it's good to have outside eyes helping
Yes.
you assess your
Yeah.
needs.
I think accountability is what we all need,
Yes.
right? It doesn't matter what. I mean, I played basketball for a long period of time, and the coaches that were the hardest, the coaches that were, the ones that really coached you, are the ones that I learned the most,
Yes.
right? And there was that accountability. The ones that let me go because they thought I was good enough, and they're like, he's just good. I didn't learn as much. I didn't grow as
And you
much.
don't remember them as much.
Yes, it's so true.
Yeah.
The one that I'm thinking of that comes to my head, he always comes. He was the one coach that would get on me and wanted the best and pushed me to my limit, but I grew the most in that period of time. So I think that that's interesting. Okay. All right, so let's transition a little bit and talk a little bit about how we met at the Michael Pinball Clemons Foundation. So let's talk a little bit about the Victory Gala. So you are going to be boxing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with that and the Pinball Clemens Foundation.
So I started kickboxing
Mm.
like 3 years ago. And then my first gym closed. I joined this new gym where there were more towards just the boxing. There was a little kickboxing, but more towards just the boxing. And one of the coaches sort of planted the seed. It's like, do you want to spar or fight at some point? I'm like, never, never. I'm never going to do that, especially with the job I do. I know what can go wrong.
Right.
But then, like, the
Is that
seed
one
was
on
there.
too? Mm.
And then the more I did boxing, and then my current coach, Manny, joined the gym. And I think it's when you meet the right coach that you trust that you're like, okay, maybe I can do this. And they started sparring, and one thing led to another. And then he's like, you should fight. But I always said I would only fight for a charity event. I'm not going to do a profession of boxing.
Of course, of course.
Not doing that. And so last year's charity gala, one of the fighters from the gym was fighting at the gala. And he's like, you should come and see if that's something that might interest you. So I was there in attendance last year, and I'm like, I really was impressed by the organization, but mostly by the testimony that one of the students gave in the middle of the night,
Mm.
seeing where all these funds and what they do and how they can help.
Yeah.
And it sort of ties up to my job too.
Mm.
The fact that, like I said earlier, seeing the positive, adding positive to what I see. And so putting all together and being able to potentially give back in a way to society and maybe help less people end up in my quarters
Yeah.
and help them flourish in life. It's sort of like the circle going
Yeah.
around,
Full circle.
closing the loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's sort of how I got involved with the gala. Last year, I decided as soon as I was done, I remember talking to Jane to get my ticket. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want a ticket. I really need to. So she's like, I'll make sure you have the best seat so you can really see the fight and everything and make a decision to come. It all started last year.
Mm.
And so as soon as they posted like the application link, I put in my application and I was waiting. And they've just found my opponent
Yes.
lately. Not a
Yes.
lot of women are crazy like me
I
and
know.
want to do this. And so that's how I got involved. And
Yes.
then being one of the boxers, we met at the leadership event.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And given my background, they invited me because there's not a lot of people from the healthcare system that
Agreed.
can mentor.
Agreed.
And so that's why I was invited. And again, it's just closing the loop,
Yeah.
a full circle,
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
all together.
I love it. We do need more doctors in helping out. So doctors, if you're listening, you heard, we do need more doctors to kind of volunteer and for them to hear that medical side to it. So we're happy about that. So tell me a little bit about the training. Like, what's the like? I mean, to train for a boxing match, 3 rounds, going at it. Obviously you were doing a little bit of training beforehand, but what's the hardest thing about that training whole process?
So now that we've officially found my opponent, the coach is being really hard. He
Wow.
said, "You're gonna hate me by the time the fight comes, but you're gonna appreciate it once the fight is done."
Good.
But really, we were talking earlier about how much stamina you need to get through a round.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Professional boxers make it look so easy, like they're barely sweating at the end of a round, but that's not the reality of it. So I train 6 days a week, an
Wow.
average of 10 hours. So some days
Wow.
it's 2 or 3 hours. I can tell you that my Monday is the day off because often it's 2 or 3 hours on the Sunday and I have no energy on Monday.
Interesting.
But it's a lot of building your stamina, your cardio, your technique. And I'm more at the phase of like doing more and more sparring to get comfortable in the
Mm-hmm.
ring. Like hitting a bag is not the same as
Hitting somebody
sparring. Not, hitting
and
someone is
potential
fine, but when the person answers back, that's
yes,
different.
and potentially getting that beautiful face scarred as
Oh,
well.
I've gotten black eyes,
Really?
big bruises, split
Wow.
lips.
Wow.
It's happened. So
Wow.
you have to be, you have to know it's a risk, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's part of it,
Yes. Yes.
and it's really like one of my coaches used to say, it's how can you outsmart your opponent? It's
Mm.
not always about hitting hard and stuff. It's also reading what's going on in the ring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're working hard, and we're hopefully everything turns out right at the end of this fight.
Well, I can't wait to watch you. I'm going to be there. I'm trying to get more people there as well to come watch you fight, and maybe I'll be in the back there hyping you up a little bit. Your hype man there too as well. All right, so tell us a little bit. What's the hardest thing about training? I mean, you talked a little bit about you were in kickboxing beforehand, but what's the hardest part about this training stuff that you have to go through for the match?
It's really working on a stamina. That's the hardest part. If
Mm.
you've watched boxing, it looks so easy, but short rounds are not that easy to go through. So
Mm.
you, especially when you have not 10 rounds to go through, but like maybe 2 or 3 rounds, you have to concentrate your effort and really give your all. So working on the stamina, uh, I work out 6 days a week,
Wow,
and so up to 10 hours a week.
that's
So
crazy.
that's a lot of investment. And usually
Gosh.
Mondays, you're not going to see me at the gym. My Sundays are usually 2 or 3 hours of training. So no energy left after that. But that's the sacrifice you have to give to be able to survive in the ring.
You see, like I would not think that, I was thinking of signing up and then I just like, train a little bit and then you just go fight, right? But 6 days a week,
Yes.
what a sacrifice.
Well, it's good for the charity, but it's also good for my health.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's double benefits.
yes. And so it is for a good cause. And,
Yes.
obviously I have been with the Michael Pinball Clemons Foundation for a number of years, helping them. But I know Mike and Diane personally. I kind of joke and say I'm probably one of their first proteges way before when I was in my 20s. We saw each other when he was doing Stop the Violence and I was doing Maximize Potential. And I know based upon knowing them, the type of people they are, the commitment to excellence, but they just want to help and make a difference at the end of the day. And they're not like any celebrity and any of that stuff like just that think they're better than anybody, but they really want to make a difference and they have. I know in my life they stretch my vision, let me see things that I never thought I would be, and I know the impact that they're having coast to coast. So just listening to you and the sacrifice that you're making to make this happen, to raise funds, just want to say thank you so much. I know that the kids, they may not get a chance to thank you, but we all thank you.
No, it's a pleasure. The entire process is a pleasure. It is a sacrifice. We have fun along the way, so it's
Mm-hmm.
all worth it in the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. So we got to raise money now, right?
Yes.
So how much money do you need to raise? What's that number?
So we'd like to raise a minimum of 10,000, but
Wow.
of course, the more money we raise, the more youth we can help. So
Yes.
every dollar is going to help, but minimum 10K is the
10K.
aim.
Okay. And where are you at right now in that 10K?
I'm around 2000, two thousand
Okay.
five,
Okay.
so a little ways to go
Okay. So
still.
we got some work to do,
Yes.
but we're going to broadcast this everywhere around my network and everybody that is watching. Okay. I'm going to look at the camera for this one. Okay. You're watching. We want you to donate even a little bit. We'll make a big difference for the Pinball Clemons Foundation. So how can they get involved? Like, obviously we want people to come see the event if they
Yes.
can, but there are other ways that they can get involved. How can they get involved?
So you can donate. If you go on the Victory Gala webpage, there's a page for all the fighters that are fighting where you can donate to a specific fighter.
Okay, and
I
you're
would,
gonna you're gonna donate Dr. Liza.
yeah, I
Okay.
would appreciate for me, but if you prefer another fighter, it's
Yes.
fine. It's going for the foundation.
Right.
But any donation of $100 or more gives you a live stream to the event to see the fights. So
Oh, that's new.
if you want to see people get beat up or beat up other people,
Awesome.
it's a way to participate.
I like that a lot.
Yes.
Right. So if you can't make it in person, you can live stream and watch it.
Yes.
Bring your popcorn and
in the
comfort
comfort
of
of
your
your
own
own
house.
home.
Okay. I like that.
Or like one of my donors said, he's going to be working in the comfort of his own ICU unit in a hospital.
There you go. There you
So,
go. I'm gonna get the link, and so anybody that's watching it, I'm gonna post a link so they can go right then there and they can support you
yes.
in your whole process. So thank you so much. This has been so great.
It's been wonderful.
I really, from the first day I met you, I was like, man, I wanted to learn more about what you did, and just doing it in this platform, uh, raise some money for the Pinball Clemens, and kind of learn each other and all the stuff that's happening. So appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
Bye bye.